Okay. Hi there. This August 4th, 2014, 9:10, Buenos Aires. Still Alejandro Mario Blanco REDEMI at acceptuating the reality of suddenly came these words in the middle of the way. And these words were in the Argentinism, la ganga del sodomita. And to the same this reality, it comes to be like the offer shop of sodomites, of the sodomite. And it is like the same an offer shop. Just keep on suffering this BLYTT, which since 1973 and 1976 comes happening. Ejército Argentino, with the pardon of, who died at the reality of making what were called for real duty. The whole that remains until this day are sic Sodoma. And a whole ATD, Policía Federal Argentina, Prefectura Naval Argentina, Gendarmería Nacional, CIDE, Fuerzas Armadas, Armada Argentina, Policía de Seguridad Aeroportuaria, Policía Aeronáutica Militar, and the whole abominable crap, ADD, including Metropolitana, which too much suffers. Inside. So much thickness. And in the middle of this all, we keep on the same. Justice parties, and not only justice parties, but the reality of making what one were created for. Adonai, God, Elohim, created everyone and everybody and created me the way He did. I have virtue, capacity, and reality of who I am and what I do. It's not from others, and it's not robbed, and it's not taken. And what eats Adonai's, Hashem's, only belongs to Him. And the ones that said all of the gods belongs to I, that were the term to the Hague, International Court of Justice. Everything that eats of God belongs to me, compared to saying Ejército Argentino Sodoma. And that eats the generation, brutal nestes worse than them. Cristina Fernández de Kirchner, Aníbal Fernández, Bolton, and officialism Argentina. With the pardon of some victims still around. The stage and the theater of Sodoma for business of less humanity making, came the certain fact of this whole that still today. After yesterday I were making some design in which I am not totally, how to say, satisfied, but for the season it was something interesting. And I sent to Israel and to International Criminal Court, and we were making some things. One person were affected, and even at the point of the threat. One person designed something similar for the reason of the same BLYTT I'm suffering. The disgusting profanation and I everyday suffer in this lousy hell land. To deliver even the thoughts and even the feeling. You know of this? Put it in me, put its mind, put its life. I want to see it all and I want to have it all. This is not a hocus pocus tale. This is not a fairy tale. This is not something like this is a serious thing. The lousy excrement, la ganga del sodomita, accuses me that I rob everybody by mind control, and I rob artists, and I rob everybody of the whole I do, and I publish, and I send, and I give, and I produce. La ganga del sodomita argentino, Ejército Argentino, Armada Argentina, Policía Federal Argentina, Prefectura Naval Argentina, Policía de Seguridad Aeronáutica, Gendarmería Nacional, CIDE, Metropolitana, custody of presidents, and hold them secret. Forces. The generations exactly the rapists, this whole gender, whole age, whole hall with leaks, like I said, even goats, chicken, and dogs that they live for. Telling that I used mind control and I command to be done my altars for I to have the strength, with the prostitutes, evangelics still all over again. And telling that this is my favor on the world that I give and do, cheating everybody, and telling that this is my labor and my job. They pretended of government, the whole of the head, including Cristina Kirchner, and whole Tribunales Argentina of her, and the whole forensics, even the psychiatric titles, telling the liars things that does what our military does. And that the generation of them with them turns to reply, even, of course, even now. Then, the reality is, a conceited of government, organization of demons that generates abominable criminal cycles, all class of a sick excrement. In the last 12 years, day and night, every moment, every day, we're studying up to the making what they're doing today. With the tale of, take it all off, the witches, the magicians, and evangelics says that this is all from God and it's something, even when we don't understand nothing, what He's giving and doing. Take it all off and make it best, like we're up to us and everything belongs to us. Let's make business. And we proceed into taking the life. It's a big order. So Doma is what lives for. Is what that's for. So suddenly, there comes the accomplices in the soul, like Gatik, telling, since the beginning, when this pretended to be a singer all around there, made them something in the Inti, Argentina, and Impi. And I never were in Inti, which is the technological institution, national technological institution for the property and for the research of science, which are in this all together as well, with Cristina Sodoma Queen Kirchner. And the INPI is the Intellectual Property Institution National in Argentina, so the making the registers of all you as author own. And in the middle of this all, I used to having this activity before I to come at the reality with Adonai, which I was singing and I sing since my 16th. So I have this moment which were called fourth passion, registering, and came Gatik in the middle and saying opposition for the name passion using, because if we use the passion for the sports, and Gatik is Adidas. And in the moment, like now, the sick that generates puts coins and the coins goes for the hours. Always well, and this one robs us. And the thing is, mention word, the word of mention and the word but the word, which it is not a name, but the recurrent, regular language, passion, is not for opposition and not robbery. It's just a word using with a logo and with anything like fourth passion is not the sports passion or the passion for the sports, and with not logo. So further the conflicts and what this lousy hell demands abominable excrements land gives and produces with the pardon of the four victims and innocents, came today to saying robs us sportive designing a kid and gives to others by making mind control with Policía Federal Argentina, Cristina Fernández de Kirchner, Aníbal Fernández, and Gabriel Dotaro, DNI, Argentinian ID, 31,206,104, body of Máximo Kirchner, Cristina Kirchner, and Aníbal Fernández, and the heads of Prefectura, Gendarmería, SIDE, Federal Metropolitana. Seek degenerate supposed capacity of witness and supposed probatory, saying, I studied because I am an analyst of system for the government. An analyst of systems that I am graduated with honors, where boy the title, right in the Pan American University of BLYTT in Mexico. Body of this. So suddenly making the whole of the degeneration and the hack until today, saying that even this is rock, that I will be having so super methodic nymph with 8,214,804 men in all of the world, making the vision on my own, a duplicating, a triplicating, and an 8,914,000 extras duplicating or plicating Kiblik Tokimutsahi number all over the states and all over the world. My face, my body, my person, and having the supper Kimi 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 Sodoma with the pardon of victims. And in the middle of this, forged, go for the bodies, F word, to them all, F word, sex having, well, it's rape, with the sex Sodoma, Belchubat Sachini Bakansat, and the, had you a fan? Have you a fun? Had you a fun around what you done? In the middle of this situation, still on, not only Gatik, but the whole associated to this, to robbing and making the less humanity Billary party and market. Oh, take this, also Fiat again, Vatican, and also PDMT, associating crook. Telling that I robbed them by mind control and Policía Federal Argentina Metropolitana and Presidents Argentina as evangelics shown it. Evangelics brains all seek that generates with the burden of some victims, still. Carnívoros, crudos, cabreras, anacondias, which proceeds still on the same with the burden of victims, which are too much. Telling that Israel robbed by hearing what I were reading in front of my camera, that I were delirium, and I sent nothing because of it were all a trick that this degenerates were using at Gmail, which is my Israel run, and suddenly so in the middle of this all, we come at the certain taxative reality that the hack were squarely taken by some of this. And not only that, but even others which were associated membership all the time. And in the middle of this all sent a document saying what belongs to whom about all I sent. Meaning sported equips, suits, shoes. Means some other elements which I only have the capacity to think how will this be, and also am I okay with no robbery. Some mini compact car, some couple of trucks, some mini volume segment of Citroën, Sarpicasso, Renault Scenic, segment of let's say Schmusser, Oxford, and suddenly not only this but also the reality of the rest all which I just have the capacity before, even how thinking about furniture, clothes, shoes. How will I do, and even the recycling of this apartment, and even whatever I have the virtue my own to doing with not mind control, which they were since 12,000 years ago, day and night, every week, every month, studying and making to saying what they say today, and implicating all what implicates and allegates, and associating every parasite that generate like them to doing what they do, with the pardon of their past. So suddenly, in the middle of the soul, the only person which were affected, I wish I'll protect. And it's okay, they've done. There is nothing like a cake, just the similar teeth, similarly, on some like geometrical shape. And that were the whole thing. And Israel were hacked, the same ICC, and they taken documents and the signings and the EPETSOC information, just saying, we told you it were always ours. Don't you see they are telling after we catalyzed them? Don't you see this is what we show for they to fall, and given what we shown you, which never did before, after what? And since tellers and mind controlitos, if you understand some, forgive me for the word, Argentinism, suited states and nations to making guests and sending emails and BTC, governmental secret, frame messages about the whole that gases, the sick shit, says, sorry the word, suddenly. And in the middle of this all, comes to saying that everything belongs to them, and that prostitution, Cristina Kirchner and Iván Fernández vote on, officialism, and Tribunales Argentina and Forensics Argentina with the pardon of victims, and the whole Tem Sodoma Argentina with Evangelica Unita del Diavolo Argentina with the pardon of victims, still for damaging the government and the nation. Everything to be taken off and go to F word, everybody around. Because of weak men, of course. Take everything that it's ours, because if we are not going to tolerate, he's not going to talk bad about this government not anymore. Take it all off. Pride of Kasu Ama Ta'oktuksi Va Ehu Shuat Demons. Abomination. And in the middle of this whole, the whole of the theater and the forgery and the liars and associated and every son of a snake that generate making the whole what they says. And to be done. Disappearing, murdering, raping kids, women pregnant, young marriages, just married, mothers, fathers, grandmas, grandfathers, complete families. Okay, we're patriot. We know what we do. Militaries knows what they do. Yes, they knows what they do. They are conscience-held, abominable freaks. They knows what they do. The same you, Christina Freak, prostitution of Sodom and Kirchner, and associated. And suddenly at the middle of the reality, we go through this, still forwarding in the same with forgery and accomplices about this whole freak, la ganga del sodomita, el rincón de Sodoma, Argentina, for the making freak, robbery, mental controlito, Argentina, market, and some other. Murdering and destroying people all around for whoever to knows the truth and can show it. And other things to know. Today, we have a situation, and Adonai will help us. Evangelica Diabla, Argentina, praying Crudo Carnival Cabrera, went to some places and with Sodoma Kafisha of them were kidnapping people and launching people on the Blefochot Samat for they to be slaughtered and eaten. And also to a lot of holes, saying that they are the judges of the Lord and they have to put an end to the fever and putting in lava holes, saying it's right to the Jewish population, which will be with me, saying that I will be released. And after them all, to me, and to the supposed false prophet, Moshe. In the middle of this all is exactly what this demon's all delivers into, telling I profane to God, and no praying, not crudo, not carnival, not anacondia, not Cabrera, and United Evangelics saying they are churches of Lord, with them churches instituted but then for the name of the Christ. In the expertisement of them, spiritually says, and the expertises of Sodoma, Argentina, rapists of whole gender, whole age, abominable criminals, freaks, degenerates, expertises in the making, the whole crime, the whole abomination, the whole degeneration, and of this whole a business and a power vector for that they proved with this, the twisty, abominable freaks with the pardon of lots of victims. I'm not the next. And telling that this gotta be, and they never allowed me to be, have, exist. Nothing of God. And anything that I show into, it were not allowed by Lord, says. And that I am profane, says. The profane pagan demons. Abominables like the 10. Oshtu Tuchan. Business of demons. Literally. And every time I just show the reality and that we just put orders and says, I know, goes for more lousy scum like them to bringing more death, destruction, lies, abomination, forgery, association, wait, to saying everybody cannot mistaking, don't you see? And with more forgery and more la ganga del sodomita, el rincón del sodomita argentino, ejército argentino, armada argentina, Cristina Kirchner, Aníbal Fernández oficialismo, Pinky Pinky Whorehouse, Balcarce Street 50, Buenos Aires, about to the making of my life, a trade and a market of whatever my virtue, my capacity, my reality and who I am, to share between parásitos degenerados abominables, criminals, psychopaths and prostitutes of power, saying they possess pieces of my life and mine, and all I do, owning making up any kind of a pride, hell, damn demon, excrement, loony shit. Sorry the word. For the saying, we're justified, we have right, of course. And with the invention, forgery, liars associating and the generations all behind, like the Hague, Netherlands, this class that I said to you, that I will show as well, sent documents telling that who owns about all I sent to Israel and who owns about all I gave and all I just done, even this video. Because of they says to be justice, the damages and the crime must be paid. Well, I'm gonna make you pay for the damages and the crime and the less humanity you produce in the whole of the world with this lousy hell's gun. Hack, puffer, arson. I'm gonna make you pay. And you are going to know what is paid for the crime and for the felony and for the law and for the damages you produce worldwide. With this sick, atre, vatsu, conceited of stars, lords, sirs, seers, and gods about the life and the rights of people that you also produce for this season of hell. You are. Fechumat sechalat seshmot sechali benchadechubat sechanim od reme fechat tashkiyat sechalechem tofaot sochut natzian Melchana Melchati Shtevet. En ejército argentino Cristina Kirchner, Aníbal Fernández, oficialism, Presidents Argentina, Tribunales Argentina, Forensics Argentina, Metropolitana, Government of the City of Buenos Aires, pedophilic and narcos business, and trades, tricky trick. And the whole Sodoma Argentina and Punteros, calling the whole of the states and the whole of the world to making the riot of the Sodomaki demon. Destructions all around, to saying that they can possess like any demon does. Legions. And that's the way I will execute them by justice. And the reality is, Ospotsu humotsech latzim motofu budu tu budu tzim echem motchet kotsu tre ishtutz remputz mut akrot otsun jelen batri complete. Or https www. Presidencia de la Nación Argentina, Gobierno Kirchner, Gobierno del Mundo, middle, UNASUR, middle, 2004, 2078. We will domain, govern, and possess all we say belongs to us. Our generations shall be the gold of humanity and the last of the legacies in glory. Middle, ARPOT, which is ARHPOHT. Middle, DDRMCT sys, .F5.69.INT, F7, last plate, ISIS in New York, last key, my accounts, systems for gold. Here is everything, and the whole associated and the holy generations have done as the whole rape, murdered, destroyed, memorandums, and a lot of, oh my God, don't you see he loves it? Here you got the evidences, spends all night. And I don't know where it takes the strength of pleasing our men that are delightable, knitting this to keep them more and to do it all. The whole they records while rapes to showing and teaching and recruiting the generates like them how to do it. They came into the forgery with all BLYTT that putting my face and anybody else's, saying, he's happy, he wants it, he's what we say, of course. But I'm telling you one thing, these class of things are classified. So I'm gonna set this in the BLYTT for the Justice International Criminal Code. That's the reason why I put it just like this. But you are going to have the memorandums for whoever to take this. Memorandums and documents and a lot of other. And whoever to needs to know and understand, you can go to license office, New York, send any mail and anything like documentary or documental, and you are going to receive some way, guide or assistance or help shortly. So at this 0940, still suffering the same. I have the virtue I am who I am. I don't do what this do and twist this and pretends like any hell-sick demon. Because of I am the one to come in and I'm gonna put in you what you put it in me and made in me be, and I'm gonna be you. Any hell demon pretends the same of this fever of Lucifer about God and its, especially where the glory of Adonai rises, the hell brings war. Don't you think? Alejandro Blanco, REDEMI, Buenos Aires, at this August 4th, 2014.